Good day, everyone. In this video, we're going to talk about the solution to the black poverty problem and tons of other problems that the black community is going through, um, which is the Israeli diaspora, whether in Africa, in the United States, or in the Caribbean. There's a whole tons of problems that we are facing that are similar, that has a lot of similarity, whether you live in the richest country in the world or the poorest continent in the world. Now, for instance, if you know the issues in the United States with African Americans um, insecurity, when an African American leave home to go to work or school or to church or to visit a family member, there's a possibility that he or she may not come home because the police take the black people in this country as their enemy number one. You find the same similarity in Haiti right now. If a citizen of Haiti go out to school, to work, to church, to visit family members, because of gang activities, there's a possibility that he or she may not come home. And in Africa, there are certain area in Africa where girls are not allowed to go to school. If they do, they may be kidnapped and not return home to their parents. As you can see, whether the black person is in the greatest country in the world, country that brag as this is a place of law and order, or the poorest continent in the world, or one of the poorest country in the Western Hemisphere, you can see that the problems are the same. We are going through the same problems. Now, I don't even have to mention the problems of poverty, the problems of lack of employment, underemployment, the problem of lack of infrastructure in the black communities, the inequality of education in the black communities, then you can see there is a similarity in the problems that black people are facing regardless where in the world they live. Now, are the solutions to our problem in the hands of the politicians? Less than 8 years ago, an African American ruled the United States. Did he solve all of the problem of the black communities? No. Did he try? Yes. But the result is as um, as little as if you take a bottle of water and drop it in the ocean. In Africa, the politicians tried and never come up with a good solution. In fact, Europe went into Africa and said they come to fix Africa's problem. At the end, they end up colonize Africa. In fact, only Ethiopia and Libya has never been colonized by Europe. France, England, they packing up a lot of resources from Africa to bring to their own country in the name of they come to solve Africa's problem. Whether it's gold or oil, they packing all of those resources back to France, back to England, back to Spain, back to Portugal, back to Italy, and so on and so forth. they have no solution for Africa. Um, and in Haiti, same thing. The politician in Haiti finally destroy the country. They have no solution. Um, so we said in this program before that the problem with the Israeli diaspora started when the before Pilate, the people cried that they don't need any other king but Caesar. And then they said, if Jesus is innocent, let his blood fall on us and on our children. That expression on our children, with that expression, they signed a contract of misfortune, a contract that lead to the destruction of the generations that come after them. So the exercise we're gonna do in this video, we're gonna analyze what happened to the generation that express, if Jesus was innocent, let his blood fall on us. We're going to analyze, did anything bad ever happen to that generation? If nothing bad happened to them, if they live their lives, they eat, drink, they go old, die peacefully, and generations after generations that followed them, nothing never happened to them, then we will know that they were right, that Jesus might have been an impostor, or that Jesus was not truly the Son of God if nothing happened to them. When we analyze history, we saw that in the year 64 after Christ, we know that Jesus died when he was 33 years old. In the year 26, that's when they crucified him. In the year 64, Nero, who was the emperor of Rome, decided that he wanted to rebuild Rome to his likeness. Okay, so what he decided to do was set fire. He set fire in the country and burned 2/3 of the country. 2/3 of Rome was burned to the ground. And then what Nero did was he accused the Christians as the people who set who set Rome on fire. So because of that, they started to persecute the Christians. They murdered, they killed, they tortured, they deported some of them. In fact, it was in that year, because of that accusation, that the Apostle Peter was assassinated by the soldiers of Nero. Okay, so in the year 70, now Nero was no longer the emperor. The emperor became another individual named Vespasian. He was Nero's army general. Now Vespasian army general was his own son named Titus. History reported that Titus besieged Judea. Okay, that is the place where the generation that said, let his blood fall on us, that's where they lived, in Judea. Nero came, besieged the kingdom of Judea, and then for 4 months and 3 weeks there were good resistance from the population, from the Judeans. Okay, they put a good fight for a few months. Few months later, the entire Judah was captured except for Jerusalem. During those months of siege, Okay, the the people inside, they start fighting themselves. There was a huge famine where the people become um, a cannibalism people, where because of the famine, not enough food, people start eating each other. Mother eat their children, husband eat their wives, and so on and so forth. People eat people. This is what happened to the generation that said, "Let His blood fall on us." Okay, they murder each other in there. A civil war took place during the siege. Okay, it was because of that civil war that it was even easier for Titus to go in, capture Jerusalem. First, he looted the temple, took everything that was in the temple, and there's always a lot of um, good treasure in the temple of Jerusalem, because to do ceremony for God, they surrounded the place with gold. So the army took all the gold, they burned the temple to the ground, and then they killed many of the people. They tortured those that were not killed. They deported them to Rome. So you see, this is what happened to the generation that said, "Let His blood fall on us. If He's really innocent, let His blood fall on us." And you saw that it's like God put that generation in a meat grinder and grind them. Um, they really pay for the price of rejecting Jesus, because God doesn't like rejection at all. God chose a people for Himself. He expects His people to serve Him, because other nations don't reject their own gods. Okay, so there you have it. The people that rejected Christ, they really paid the price. Then uh, we saw that they paid the price, and today, us being in the Israeli diaspora, we are continue to live under that same chastisement, under that same curse that they put on us when they said, "Let His blood fall on us and on our children." Then are we going to live forever in this state? What is the solution to the black poverty, insecurity, lack of employment, um, lack of infrastructure in the black communities, even though some of us live in the richest country in the world? What is the solution? The solution to this problem came from the mouth of Jesus Himself. Okay, in Matthew 23, verse 39, Jesus said um, to those to that generation at the time, He says, "For I tell you, you will never see me again until you say, 'Blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord.'" That doesn't mean that until you say, "Blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord," I will not come and take the church with me, or I will not come and we establish the millennial kingdom. That's not what that means. That means until you say, "Blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord," you will not be blessed. You will not receive favors from God as Israelis, as a nation. Okay? You will not be treated as Israel anymore until you say, "Blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord." That's what that means. That means we will not stop living in poverty as black people. That means we will not stop suffering from police brutality. That means we will not stop trying to take refuge or seek a better life in other countries. if you're in Africa or in the Caribbean. That means we will not stop being slaves, because to this day, in this present day, 2023, there are Haitian slaves in the Dominican Republic working in their plantation as slaves, where they don't get paid and they get beat up for not doing work in this year 2023. What stupidity, what tragedy, what nonsense is that, when we have United Nations, we have um, um, the Organization of American States, okay? What nonsense is going on there? Good luck to the Dominican Republic, because God has a plan for them. God is coming for them, okay? Until we say, blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord, we will not stop being colonized by Europe if you live in Africa, because Europe entered Africa saying that they came to solve Africa's problem. Meanwhile, they end up stealing the resources that are found in Africa, whether it's oil, or gold, or precious stones. They just packing them by boats, by trains, okay, by airplanes, bringing them to France, to England, to Italy, to Germany, and so on and so forth. Therefore, the solution to the black problem is not in the hand of the politicians. Until we say, blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord, we will not stop being hated and falsely accused by other ethnic groups, until we recognize that Jesus is the Christ, the Son of God. Therefore, the Israeli diaspora, whether in Africa, in the United States, or anywhere in the Caribbean, or anywhere in Europe, anywhere in the world, unless we coordinate an official ceremony in recognition of Jesus as the Son of God, and with tears in our eyes, in lamenting, with sack and sand, with humility, to go and recognize him as the Son of God, and to cry, blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord, the problem that we are facing will never go away until we do such thing. Therefore, ladies and gentlemen, we know exactly what the problem is, and now from Jesus' mouth, we know what the solution is. And we see people try to do a bunch of different things to solve this problem, but nothing never solved the problem. Our politicians can't. We can do it ourselves. The one thing that we can do, the solution to this problem, come from Jesus' mouth himself. Then this is what we need to do. Recognize that he is the Christ, the Son of the living God, and that we cry at his feet with tears in our eyes, with a humble and contrite heart, with a sorry heart, telling him that we finally understand that he is the Christ. We finally understand that he is who he said he was. Then finally we will definitely get out of this jam, get out of this difficulty. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Until we meet again, may the Lord bless you.